Hey guys, it's Thursday on LWS TV, and I will be sharing with you my coming out story.
I'm a homo. I'm a homo.
I'm very sick right now, so I do apologize for my voice. It's normally not like this. Coming out was one of the hardest things I ever had to do in life. I came out to my friends when I was in the end of 10th grade year, beginning of 11th grade year, and now I'm 20. I came out to my friends first at a party. I was actually at a party. We had been drinking. This was my first time ever drinking, and me and my closest friend, we made out. And I was crying afterwards. I'm like, I'm not a lesbian. No, I can't be a lesbian, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, dude, it's okay. Nobody cares. You're probably not even a lesbian. So I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. So I wrote her a note the next day in school, and I apologized. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I was drunk. I'm like, I'm sorry. I can't help it. You don't have to be my friend if you don't want to. Never do that. Never do that. I made that mistake. And I kind of regret apologizing for being me. But at the time, I was confused. You know, I felt like being gay wasn't right. You should never apologize for who you are. How did my family members take it? Well, in about 10th grade, AIM was like the whole AIM situation. AIM was the junk. I was on AIM talking to my best friend at the time. And you know how people joke around, best friends joke around. We were joking around because I was about to go over to her house to practice for a play that I was in. And I wrote on there, hey, I'm coming over. Where are we gonna go? Like, practice. She's like, well, first we could get it on in the back seat and then we could go practice. She was joking. She was completely joking. But being stupid, I left that up. My parents found it. I came home, my dad was highly upset. He's like, are you gay? And my dad's Indian, so when the Indian gets mad, their face turns completely bloodshot red, and you do not want to be around an Indian when they get mad, okay? No. So he told me off. I've never seen my dad cry, but he was crying. He told me to get out his house if I like females. He told me that I could never talk to my friend again. They both were flipping out. My mom's just sitting there, and she's just like upset too, not saying anything. I'm like, are you serious, Mom? You're just gonna let him sit here and yell at me like this? So after the whole situation, I had to deny it. I had to deny it because I was about to get kicked out of my house, and I did not want to stop being best friends with my friend. So I denied it, and at that time I don't regret it because after this whole situation, I guess my parents started looking more into lesbians and gays, and my mom would always ask me, so how do you feel about lesbians or gay people? And I'm just like, she knows. So after another year, I had a YouTube, and I would always post like topics about stuff on my YouTube channel, and she found the YouTube channel. One day I was at work, and I called her because I live in a small town, and everybody had just heard that some girl had just got hit by a train, so I was on the phone with her like, who was it? And she's like, she told me, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? She's like, I'm looking at some bullshit on the internet. So automatically, I was furious. I'm like, I know she's looking at my YouTube channel. Why are they always going through my stuff? This is just so frustrating. And being a teenager at this time was just frustrating. I wasn't even a teenager. I was 19 years old. I think 18 or 19. And my parents just never gave me privacy. They were going through my YouTube. And I'm just like, well, she knows now, you know? It's whatever. I'm out. So I go home that day from work, and she calls me in my room. We're talking for a good 2-3 hours, and she's asking me, are you a lesbian? Because we don't accept lesbians in this family. I'm like, are you serious? Mom, it's just making me feel so useless and so worthless. My parents don't go off until their cup fills. You know how little things add up to big things? That's what happened. Little things added up into big things. They got upset, and their cup just burst once they found the YouTube. So then my mom was bringing out old things that happened a year ago, and it was just not great. Like, it was so overwhelming. I became depressed. I didn't know what to do. I did not even want to be in my own house. I feel like I wasn't accepted in my own house. So I was 19 years old, and basically I ran away. I felt like that was my only outlet. I had $150 in my pocket. I had a paycheck coming for a couple of dollars for that last week. And I went, my best friend was at school 2 hours away. So I drove 2 hours away. I packed my stuff. I drove 2 hours away. They didn't know I left. But the next day, they're like, so you're not coming home? I'm like, no. My dad tracks my car down, finds out where I'm at. He's like, bring the car home or I will come get the car. So I'm like, are you serious? I come home, but I bought a one-way ticket to New York City. My friend stayed in New York, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go stay with her. I went to the bus station, I bought my ticket, and I left for New York City. I called my parents, hey, pick my car up at the bus station. That's what happened. I do not regret doing that, simply because after staying there for a couple of months, I had $50 in my back pocket. I made it because determination makes you do a lot of crazy things that you don't, like, grow up really fast and do things that you normally wouldn't do. But I made it. I was living. I was happy. I could have been happier if my parents were involved in my life for those few months. But I came home because somebody in our family had passed away. And my dad couldn't sleep because he didn't know where I was. I was always babied when I was growing up, so my parents worrying wasn't anything new. So they were worrying. I came home and they were ecstatic to see me, and we talked. They apologized and things got better. I guess people don't realize that how much they miss somebody until they're gone, and that's what they went through. So me going away was kind of a good thing, you know. It made them realize that she's not going to be here forever. She has to live her own life. And I really don't regret going to New York for those couple of months. So that was a plus. My coming out story was really hard, but everybody doesn't have it easy. What should others consider before coming out? You guys should consider other people's feelings. Like, do you know that your parents or whoever you're about to come out to is a homophobe? If you know that, don't do it exceedingly fast. Just ease it on in there, you know. Have a conversation like, hey, I don't need to be a burden or anything and ruin how you feel about me, but I'm the same person I was yesterday. I just like the same sex, you know. You have to tell them eventually. Just ease it on in there. And I lived in a small town, so everybody eventually found out what sucks. So if you live in a small town, you just have to not care, because you are who you are. You're going to be that person for the rest of your life. You can't care what other people think about you. And I had to learn that the hard way. But it does get better, I can promise you that. I've been through so much crap, but now I can honestly say that I'm content with where I am in life. And I promise you, it does get better. So that's my coming out story. You guys should subscribe to Lesbians with Swag, and subscribe to my personal YouTube, Urban Diva. I will see you guys next Thursday.
I'm out, I'm proud, let me hear you scream it out.